I'm joined live now from Paris by Thomas Mirow, President of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Thank you very much indeed for speaking to us. Now, I know that the institution that you're involved in obviously invests in former communist countries to really help them improve, to transform their economies. And we've been speaking about the European debt crisis. That's obviously a big story. Tell me how things stand at the moment. How has the debt crisis, the difficulties in the Eurozone impacted Eastern European economies?
Well, in emerging Europe, so to speak, recovery finally got in. They have been, as you know, in a very, very deep crisis. So now we see in the average growth returning at something like 4%, which is not too bad. But of course, competition with other emerging markets, especially in Asia, is very heavy. And at the same time, they depend, or many of them do depend, of sound economic development in core Europe, especially in countries like Germany, France and Italy.
So are you worried then about the possible knock-on effects of a rate rise in the Eurozone, which is now looking imminent?
Well, we know, of course, that already establishing the right rate for the European currency union is not an easy task because the situation is quite different. On the other hand, we all know about the risks of too loose monetary policy. So I would not comment on moves of the bank, of the central bank, that has not yet even happened. But I think all participants, including the countries east of Germany, are well aware that a stabilization and a strengthening of monetary policy cannot be ruled out any longer.
Does that mean that inflation is something that you are concerned about?
Well, there are, of course, reasons to be concerned, especially with regard to some elements like energy foremost and food, two areas in which many of the countries we are investing in have big needs of imports. So the question is how to tackle the price rises, because one can only partly address them with the means of monetary policy at home.
So tell me, Mr. Mirow, what else needs to be done? Because you said that the emerging economies of Europe are showing signs of recovery, but we've seen sharp spikes in the price of oil. And the worrying thing is it's not just oil prices, it's other commodities, it's food prices as well. At what point are you going to start to get worried about this endangering economic activity growth in these economies?
Well, I think what is key is that all those countries really engage on modernizing and diversifying their real economies. Some of them are still extremely dependent on commodities and their income of commodities, which currently is rising again, of course, but this is not a very safe haven. And what we really need is to help make these economies even more competitive, to add more of know-how in the value chain, to invest into good education and training. So I think this is absolutely key these days.
Mr. Thomas Mirow, President of the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, thank you very much indeed for bearing with us through some of the noise in the background there. Appreciate your time on some of the challenges facing the emerging economies here in Europe. Thank you.